Hi guys, at the end of this video, you will learn how to bake a milky, crunchy chinchin. This chinchin will be enjoyed by both kids and adults. This chinchin is simply crunchy, not those chinchin you will be eating and you will need a hammer to break it for you. This is not the recipe. This recipe is simply crunchy, milky, and suitable for kids and adults. Everyone in the family will love this recipe. Let me quickly introduce the ingredients I used. I used one small nutmeg, a tin of milk, two medium eggs. I used sugar. Here is half cup of water. I used just 2 tablespoons. I used 250 gram of margarine. This is the sugar. Here is the flour. I used all-purpose flour, 1 kg. Make sure you measure your ingredients. This is 1 kg of all-purpose flour. Next is the oil I used to fry. You can use any oil of your choice. Well, let's start by sieving the flour. It is very important you do this whenever you are working with flour, whether you are baking or cooking. Always sieve your flour. It will not just incorporate air, it will help to get rid of lumps and possibly deaths. Next, I added my sugar. I used half cup of sugar and quarter cup of sugar as well. Combine that properly. For my nutmeg, I used grater to grate the nutmeg. Look at it. And then I sieved. If you are using powdered nutmeg, you can use 2 teaspoons of nutmeg. Look at that. I prefer using fresh one. You can use any one of your choice. I simply combine that together. Make sure you combine everything together. This is now the flour, the sugar, and the nutmeg. Next is the margarine. Cut into pieces and add into the mix. Once you've exhausted the margarine, it is now time to mix this together. Mix properly until you get a crumb-like texture. It should be like crumbs, just like breadcrumbs. Mix properly. If you are using eggs at this moment, add the eggs. If you are not using eggs, you will still get a very good chin-chin. I added the 2 eggs at this point. Stir properly so that this will mix together. Mix properly before adding the milk. The milk will help to give this recipe a milky taste. You can use any milk of your choice. If you are using powdered milk, make sure you dissolve it with a little water before adding to this mix. I added the milk at this point, mixed properly, and started kneading this. Knead very well. If at any point there is need to add water, start with half a teaspoon or a tablespoon at a time. Mix this properly. Did you notice that I didn't remove any flour for kneading? You will know why I didn't do this, because everything was so perfect. Once I was kneading this, I didn't need to add any flour. If your dough is good, there will be no need to add flour to your surface. Look at mine. There is no flour and yet it is not sticking. Make sure you knead properly. If at all you need water, start with a tablespoon or half tablespoon at a time. I allowed this to rest for 15 minutes and started working on it. Once again, just knead for a little while and start rolling out. You can use a rolling pin. I used a bottle. This can serve the purpose as well. If you got this recipe correctly, you don't need to add flour to your surface while kneading, okay? Because when you add too much flour while kneading, you will still complain that when frying, the oil will be so foamy. Make sure you get this recipe correctly. You can cut your chin according to your taste. Look at that. Once I cut it, they are not even sticking together. Look at it. Cut them to your desired shapes. You can be consistent so that this will turn out looking very good. This is done. I added oil to my frying pan. Remember, this is deep frying, okay? You don't need to fry your chinchin as if you are frying plantain. I seasoned my oil with onions. You can use garlic or ginger. I started adding my chinchin in batches. Make sure you don't overcrowd the oil. I simply added as much as I can. Once that was ready to a golden brown color, I simply removed them from the oil. Remember, once the chinchin cools down, the color darkens a bit. Place them in a kitchen towel to drain the excess oil. Don't wait until they get to the degree of golden brown you want before you remove them from the oil. Continue to fry until all the batches are exhausted. Once you are done, allow to cool down before packaging them. Once you put them in an airtight container, they can last for weeks. This is the outcome of this chinchin. It is crunchy, it is creamy, it is milky, it is yummy. Good for both kids and adults. Would you be trying this recipe? Please share with your friends and groups so that they too will benefit. I will see you in my next one. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications if you haven't. Cheers to your success. Keep being amazing. Bye bye.